Hello. Today, for my psychogeography experiment, I've come to, I'm in Bacchus Marsh, obviously. This is my hometown. I'm here, I'm going from most familiar places to least familiar places in the town, in a way trying to make the town unfamiliar to myself. It's raining, it's bloody miserable, this is my second take. As you can see, this is the train station. I've used this hundreds of times, maybe thousands, who knows. This is probably the most familiar place in town apart from my house that everyone can come to, and it's been fairly significant in my life because first off it started as a place where I would go when I was younger, when I would go to the city when I would go to the art gallery, when I would go with my mum to her work. I would come to here and I would get on the train and I would be so excited. It just represented going somewhere that I don't get to go very often. Now, as I grew older, I started to use it in high school to get from my dad's house to high school. Yeah, and I think it didn't really lose its luster. I still loved going on the train. I think it still represented progression. It still represented moving forward. It still represented a time in my life when I'm still progressing and getting somewhere. And then now I use it 3 times a week to get to university. And I think it still represents the same thing. It still represents moving forward. It still represents going somewhere. It still represents me becoming something more. And I think that as I use it more and more, it never loses that. It always stays as somewhere where I came and come to often to progress my life, to progress the order of things. And it also represents going somewhere fun. Like, I love going to the city. I enjoyed high school. It meant I got to see my friends, and I loved going to my mum's work, seeing what she did. I loved going to the art gallery. I think it's always represented something to me that you can't exchange it for. Now, there has been plans to change it recently. It's always just been one platform. It's always just been old wooden buildings. It's always just been that. And I think going forward they want to add a second platform. They want to add a bridge to it. They want to update the design of it. And I don't know I think I'm not one of those people who says things like, oh, it shouldn't do that, shouldn't do this. I'm all for progression, and I think I don't think it'll change its meaning for me if it does, and I'm excited to see if they do it. And I hope I get to come down this rail line and come to this rail station many more times to come in the years ahead. It all depends if I move out, I suppose. Okay, sorry about the mic setup, but this is the best it's gonna get because I have to walk. This is a place I used to come a lot but haven't been to in a long time. We used to swim down here, we used to eat. I'm kind of excited to see what it looks like. I mean, it's right next to a river, so I mean, it should look different, probably a lot different. I don't know. Hopefully it's still the same. I probably bring back some cool memories. This doesn't feel familiar. I remember having to climb down. Maybe there's some infrastructure. There's some steps. Wow, it looks a lot deeper than it used to. There's a lot less room to sit. Oh God. Yeah, there's basically nowhere to sit. There's no bank anymore. It's all grass and then just caves away to water. Yeah, this is completely different to how I remember it. You used to sit over here And it used to be stones or something. We used to sit. I remember this was much thinner. The mouth was much thinner. You could walk all the way over to the bridge over there. Yeah, we used to sit under there. There's rocks and stuff. Wonder if there still is. Oh wow. That looks completely different to how I remember it. It's way thicker. Looks like there's streams over there. This is quite magnificent if I'm being honest. Wish it wasn't raining. I'll try and get a bit closer, but the paths seem to... I don't feel like jumping in the rain. I don't feel like slipping over into the water. I remember once me and my family came down and we were all swimming, and my little brother, he just started having an allergic reaction and we didn't know what to, and we had to take him to the hospital. We never really found out what it was. Recently my aunt said that the same thing happened to her son, my cousin, and we're not sure what exactly it is. I hope everywhere hasn't changed like this. Although, it's not a terrible change. I mean, it looks a lot more overgrown than it used to. Beautiful. Alright, we're back again with my terrible mic covered in a shopping bag. Alright, now we're at Swan Road. It's in kind of in the middle of Bacchus Marsh. I brought us here because it's a place I've been, what I thought was one time, but it turns out it's the same street where my friend lives. Friend's house I've been to multiple times, but it's also the subject of a myth that my dad or that he told us about one time. All that he showed us one time. It kind of reminded me of the myth around Hanging Rock, that if you go to Hanging Rock, it feels like you're upside down. Now, I haven't verified that yet. Might be false. That's what I've heard about it. And it's a similar deal here at Swan Road, where apparently if you park halfway up and you sit and you put your car in neutral, then it feels like you're rolling upwards when you're really rolling backwards. Now, I remember my dad taking us out here, parking the car about halfway up, and then we sat down, and I remember it vividly, feeling like it was rolling up, and he was adamant that it wasn't. Now, who knows what that was? It could have been an actual myth. It could have been Dad trying to trick us. He's a bloody prankster. He could have been driving the car forward a little bit just to mess with us, just to put an idea in our heads. But now, when I come back here, it feels kind of mythical. I mean, that might be stupid since I've only been here once, but it feels, with the context that it was the subject of that myth my dad reported, it takes on a sort of legendary idea in my head, even though it's the subject of my friend's house as well. It's strange. It's almost like the place exists twice. One for the street my friend lived on, and one for the street where my dad told us about a myth. Strange. It's like, I never put it to, I always thought it was a different street. I'd drive past the street and go, oh, that was the street. But it was when I talked to my dad last night and he told me about the myth, it was this street, and it's the street my friend lives on. So, it's strange. It's got a strange feeling, like it exists twice. Well, I was freaking out there for a minute. Nearly bogged my car. As you can see, it's a lot of damage control trying to get out of this place. I think I'm good now. I'm on the harder stones, but looks like one of my places of interest is off limits unless I walk. There is this road that I might walk down. Yeah. I don't want to come up here in vain, so I'm gonna leave the car there for now, and I'll meet you at the top, or maybe probably not, since it's quite a walk. Kangaroos. Can't really see them from back there. Oh god, so unfit. Jeez, wasn't thinking I'd have to walk. Well, here we are. It's the highest place in Bacchus Marsh. I was hoping it wouldn't rain so I could actually see the gorgeous view, but I guess this is what we have. Now, I chose to come up here because it is a place I've always been able to see, but I've never visited. So it's different to a place like Swan Road, because I've been to Swan Road before and forgotten. But this place, it's always in view. It's a sweeping panorama hill that you can see from all directions, but I've never actually been up here. I mean, yeah, it's foggy and I can't see a goddamn thing, but I'd say it's still pretty nice. I mean, the fog kind of clearing my sinuses. It's a nice place. I wish I could see the view. I wish I could see the view. You can see a little bit over there. These towers are kind of cool. There's nothing over this way apart from kangaroos. So yeah, bogged my car to get up here. I know, it's a disappointment. God, great, fantastic, thank God. Well, I wanted to see if I could get a little bit closer to the edge, and I have. Don't know how well it's going to show up on camera, unfortunately. You can kind of see it through there, through the trees. No sign of those kangaroos, unfortunately. Oh well. Yeah. I think I'm going to head back now, see if I can unbog my car. See if it's unbogged, sorry. My shoes are completely soaked through, covered in mud. This dry as a bone is as wet as the ocean. Bloody, so muddy. I shouldn't have come up here. Bloody hell. Man, I am not a hiker. I'm a great riding student, damn it. Why am I up here? Need to do more exercise, I think. Bloody hell. God damn it. How do I clean it? I hate this. I hate this. jeez. Scared myself. Oh. Don't tell my mum. Alright, more bad news. The car won't start. I can't even get it to turn. See if the key's not in the wrong way. I've got it in park. Handbrake's on. What could be doing that? Why won't that work? Oh no. I really am bogged. I've really stuffed it. I'm gonna have to call my dad, I think. This has been an utter disaster. Jeez. It's not real angle, by the way. It's just to prop up the movie. I don't know if I'm gonna make it to the next bloody point though, and that's the last one. My journey can't end here. It really just, it won't even turn on. The key doesn't even move. Why does that happen? Is that the battery or it's in park? Yeah. Oh. I'll get back to you. Right, crisis averted. Called my dad. He recommended that it's probably that the steering wheel's locked hard against the lock, and sure enough, when I wiggled it and turned the key at the same time, came good. So we're not bogged either. Look, we can roll. Don't know if I should be rolling while filming, but okay, one more location to go, and it's a place I've never been in Bacchus Marsh. Let's see how we go. Here's Swans Road that I just was on before. It was just up the hill, that place. Alright, we've made it to the final location. Oh god. It's the Bacchus Marsh Weir. It's a little bit loud next to the raging rapids we've got here, but we'll make it do. So I've never been here before. It's cold and wet and miserable here. It's kind of beautiful though. You can't really see the cliff faces beside me here. I haven't really organized the camera well enough for that, but because I wanted to get the water in. But there's like beautiful red cliffs all the way around up here. So I'm not sure what a weir actually is. I think it might be some sort of water preserve where you can where you store water and people drink it, and you know, like a dam. Don't really know why you'd visit here apart from the cliff faces. It is quite beautiful. I have to say I'm disappointed again though. I thought it'd be a big body of water you could swim in or something of that nature, but it's an artificial waterfall with some cool rocks. Am I being too cynical right now? I've had a long day. I think that's what the problem is, but I guess that kind of plays into the whole psychogeography thing. I'm bloody miserable right now, and this place is miserable. Is there a correlation? I think so. Probably, maybe. I mean, it's a gloomy day. It's wet. That's wet. Ah! Yeah, it's a real shocking bloody affair, this bloody... I tell ya, you can probably map the descent into madness I've got here, but I've covered my camera in a box so it doesn't get wet. I've been using this setup the whole time because I didn't think it would rain this close to the due date. Anyway, never rains when I want it to, but when I don't want it to, it is. Anyway, having not been here before, I'd probably like to visit again at a time when I actually... Oh no. At a time when I actually feel good about myself and the weather's nice, but yeah, as it stands now, shocking. And I think that's going to be all. I might do another clip to sum up my thoughts, but as it stands, I just want to go home and put this together. I'll see you then.